Hello and welcome back to our Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky 1 playthrough. In our last episode, while Grandpa Professor Russell tried, I assume in vain, to get into the Black Orbment, we helped Tita repair the pump system in the Elmo Village hot spring. Now that we've done that, we've come back to see how little Grandpa's actually done. So let's move on. We have very little monies. We have very little monies. Can we get more monies to get more defense? We have reported the results for the Elmo pump repair. We received 3,000 monies and 5 BP. And our current rank is Junior Bracer 4th class. Killiker says, welcome back, it looks like you finished your job. If you clear any other contracts, make sure you come here and report it. Yes, sir. Ma'am. And we have failed a few missions. As you do. Anyway. Let's move on. Estelle says, huh? Oh, it's on fire. Because of course it is. Supervisor Travis coughs. I thought I was a goner. Factory Chief Murdoch says, well, you're all right, that's what's important. Okay, that's every section, right? Hazel says, it's all the full-timers at least. Estelle calls, Chief. Factory Chief Murdoch says, oh, it's you, back from Elmo. Estelle asks, what's with all the commotion? Factory Chief Murdoch says there was some kind of gas leak inside the building. Everything from the 5th floor down is full of fumes. Joshua says, don't tell us there was a fire. Factory Chief Murdoch says, I doubt it since the extinguishers haven't been set off. That doesn't mean I've been able to figure out why this is happening though. Tita says, excuse me, Chief, where's my grandpa? Factory Chief Murdoch says, ah, that's right. Miss Hazel, is everyone accounted for? Hazel says, well, we're fully staffed today, but Professor Russell isn't among those evacuated. Tita is in shock. Factory Chief Murdoch asks, what? You mean he's still in there? Estelle says, let us handle this, sir. Joshua says, we'll figure this out. Factory Chief Murdoch says, thank you. Tita says, I'm going too. Estelle says, what? Factory Chief Murdoch asks, Tita? Tita says, I know a lot about the central factory. I can show them the way. Estelle says, Tita, okay, come with us then. Stay close. Joshua says, but if it gets too dangerous, you have to come back here, all right? Tita says, okay. Dorothy asks, would it be okay if I came with... Estelle says, no. Joshua says, sorry, but we need you to stay back. Dorothy says, gee, thanks for taking the time to think about it. But hey, what can you do? Just be careful, okay? Factory Chief Murdoch says, if the professor is in there, he's probably in the 3rd floor workshop. I'd check there first. Estelle says, got it. Joshua says, we'll be off then. In we go. Estelle says, ugh, there's so much smoke. Huh, not so bad that you can't breathe though. Joshua says, this haze is probably a smokescreen for something else, I think. There must be a smoke canister nearby. Estelle asks, huh? Tita asks, but why would something like that even... Joshua says, I can't speculate on why, but if we can put out that canister, the smoke should clear up quickly enough. Estelle says, got it. Find it and put it out. Professor Russell is in the third floor workshop, right? Tita says, yes. At least I think so. Grandpa sometimes gets so wrapped up in his research that he loses sight of what's going on around him. Joshua says, well, let's get to the third floor. Should we be using the lift during a smoke emergency? Anyway, Estelle says, the automatic door isn't opening. Joshua asks, did the orbital power shut off? Tita says, no, it looks like it's operational. Someone's probably using the elevator. Estelle asks, could that someone possibly be Professor Russell? Joshua says, let's hope not. Either way, the only way we're getting upstairs is via that emergency stairway. Tita says, yeah, you're right. Up the emergency stairs. Okay, there's nothing down, so up we go. 2, which makes this 3. Tita says, Grandpa, we've got a big, Estelle says there's no one here. So why is the machine still on? Tita says we should turn it off. Gee, that's so quiet now. Tita says, phew, where could Grandpa have gone? Joshua says, it's not just him. The Black Orbment is gone too. You don't suppose. Agate says, so here you are. Estelle says, Agate? Joshua asks, what are you doing here? Agate says, I should be asking you the same thing. I heard about the disturbance here, so I came to check it out. Lo and behold, you got here before me. Will wonders never cease? You and competence keep sticking your noses where they don't belong. Someone's going to come and cut them off. Estelle frowns. Are you ever not a jerk? Tita says, I guess you know him? Joshua says, his name is Agate. He's a senior bracer. Agate says, hey, hold on a second. What's a kid doing here? Agate glared at Tita. Tita yelps in horror. Estelle frowns again. Hey, she hasn't done anything, so lay off. Agate says, bah. So damn much I could say, but I'll hold off for now. So what the hell's going on? Joshua says, here's the situation. Joshua explained to Agate how Professor Russell had gone missing. Agate says, smoke canisters, huh? Certainly explains the stench around here. We ain't got time to waste, though. We've got to find the professor, and fast. Estelle nods. Right. Joshua says, acknowledged. Tita says, Grandpa. Having to say one word for everyone when someone says what they're going to do is getting quite tiresome. It's like, okay, I know that they are in the room. It doesn't mean they have to say something that we all know is going to happen. Estelle says, hey, Joshua, that's... Joshua says, looks like a smoke canister, like that one the Sky Pirates used before. Joshua quickly dismantled the smoke canister. Estelle says, whoa, the smoke's cleared up. Tita says, wow, that was cool. Akate says, huh, neat trick, kid. Again, why do all three of you have to comment? Anyway, Joshua says, there are probably more canisters like this around. Let's find them, and I'll take them apart. Pressing the button does nothing. The lift cannot be used at the moment. Yes, I was just... well, mostly it was... pleading. I mean, we should still have the key for in here, shouldn't we? So... Joshua quickly dismantled the smoke canister. Again, Joshua quickly dismantled the smoke canister. Should check the bottom floor as well, I suppose. It's the way out. Joshua quickly dismantled the smoke canister. Estelle asks, hey, what's that door doing open? A man's voice says, sorry about the wait, I've secured the last objective. Alright, let's get out of here then. Are you all set? Joshua says, that voice. Akate says, come on, it came from the elevator. Estelle says, aha! Akate says, it's them. Tita says, Grandpa. Black-clad man 1 says, what? Akate Krosner? Black-clad man 2 says, oh crap, go, go, go. And they go, go, go. Estelle cries, hold it right there. Akate says, get back here. Shit, so close. Estelle says, we almost had them. Tita says, no. Why'd they take Grandpa? Joshua says, let's take the emergency stairs down. It looks like they're trying to get out of the factory. Akate says, yeah, if they get away, there's no way to know if they'll take the tunnel or just try to lose us in town. Move your asses, kids. Estelle says, you don't have to tell me twice. Could we not just jump off the edge of the building here and get caught down there? And we run out into the square. Dorothy says, "Hey, they're back." Factory Chief Murdoch says, "Good, you're all right. When the soldiers showed up, I thought something serious had happened." Agate asks, "Soldiers?" Estelle says, "Hold on a second. Soldiers, not guys dressed in black." Factory Chief Murdoch says, "No idea what you mean. They were dressed in blue and white military uniforms. Polite enough, but I got the feeling they didn't come from the Air Latin checkpoint." Dorothy says, "They definitely seemed like Royal Guardsmen to me. I thought they looked so cool that I snapped off a picture." Estelle says, "Royal Guardsmen? Huh?" Joshua says, "The ones who took away Mayor Dalmore. But why would they be here?" Tita says, "They weren't with my grandpa, were they?" Factory Chief Murdoch asks, "With the professor?" Also, another thing I have to say is, do we really need to reconfirm everything that happens? As in, they say it immediately, then someone comes back with the question form of it? Sorry, it's starting to annoy me because of how much I have to talk. It's just, yeah, it's voice maintenance from the point of this would usually be done by how many different voice actors instead of just one. Anyway, Factory Chief Murdoch repeats the question essentially with the professor. No, they did have some really big baggage with them though. Tita is in despair. Estelle says, "It had to be them, no doubt about it." Agate says, "If they're changed into military uniforms in the lift, damn it, it's the oldest trick in the book and they pulled it off." Factory Chief Murdoch says, wait just a minute. What's this? What's all this supposed to mean?" Joshua says, "We'll have to fill you in later. Which way did these soldiers go?" Factory Chief Murdoch says, "Towards town, and they moved like they had a purpose." Agate says, "We're going after them," and then runs off. Estelle says, "No way I'm letting them get away," and runs off. And Joshua and Tita follow her. And so Estelle and company split up to search the streets of Zeiss. But in the end, they could find no trace of the men who had taken the professor. The incident was reported to the Royal Army, and a unit was sent to Zeiss from the stronghold at the lake to aid in the investigation. Captain Amalthea says, "I understand the particulars. Nevertheless, this is major. This would appear to be a clear-cut case of terrorism." Factory Chief Murdoch says, "In Aidos's name, terrorism." See, he didn't need to repeat that again. Sorry. Captain Amalthea says, "Using smoke canisters to create a diversion while abducting the kingdom's greatest mind, to say nothing of the theft of the Orbal calculator, which contains some of our country's most cutting-edge technology, this deed will not go unpunished." Tita has no words. Agate asks, "So what kind of plan does the military have up its sleeve?" Captain Amalthea says, "We already have Air Latin, the Wolf Fort, Soldat Army Road, and Sanctum. S-Time Gate performing inspections. There's no way that the culprits were getting out of the Zeiss region." Estelle says, "Wow, you really mean business." Captain Amalthea laughs. Well, Intel's job is to help us mobilize as quickly and efficiently as possible in times of emergency. Joshua says, I do have one question. What do you think about the terrorists having masqueraded as Royal Guardsmen? Captain Amalthea nods. Yes, it's very unsettling. Having said that, Miss Dorothy Hyatt? Dorothy asks, what? Who, me? Captain Amalthea says, you took photos of the criminals making their escape, did you not? We would greatly appreciate it if you'd give us that photo quartz to be processed as evidence. Dorothy says, what? But it's my big scoop. Captain Amalthea says, the Royal Guardsmen are the pride of LaBelle's military. A photo of their involvement in such an incident is a very serious and sensitive matter. I must also ask that you not post any news about this until we know more. This is in order to protect the honour of Her Majesty the Queen. This isn't a formal request, but the entirety of the Royal Armed Forces would greatly appreciate it. Dorothy sighs. Fine, I guess. Once you figure out what you need to know, you'll give it back, right? Dorothy reluctantly handed over the photo quartz exposure to Captain Amalthea. Captain Amalthea says, thank you for cooperating. I hate to ask this, but it would also be appreciated if the Braces would cease their investigation. Agate says, ain't happening. I've been chasing those guys in black since way before any of this started. Military honor or not, I got no reason to stop now. Captain Amalthea sighs. You leave me no choice. Please proceed with your investigation. That said, this is with the condition that you report your findings back to intelligence at Fort Leiston. Agate says, fine with me. And if you learn anything new, you report it to the Zeiss branch, okay? Captain Amalthea says, very well. And with that, I must take my leave. And so she does, taking her soldiers with her. Estelle says, phew, that was a little intense. She's Colonel Richard's right-hand man. Woman. Joshua says, yes, it looks like she came here as the Colonel's direct representative in the investigation. Agate says, well, I'm just fine with not rubbing elbows with the military. Anyway, it looks like the culprits are hiding out somewhere in Zeiss. The sooner we report in at the guild, the sooner we can start searching outside of town. Estelle says, yeah. Wait a second, how come you're not telling us not to follow you this time? Agate says, because I can use you. Why else would I want you along? Estelle snorts, you're a real peach, you know that? No big deal though, it's just more training for us. Joshua says, thanks for having us. Agate says, yeah, just stay alert. We're gonna go now, Chief. Factory Chief Murdoch says, alright, take care. Do what you have to in order to save the Professor. Tito has no words yet again. Off we go. Hopefully the lift is still in service. It is, lucky us. Dorothy says, oh right, I have to buy some more photo quartz. Excuse me. Estelle says, okay, thanks for your help. Dorothy says, oh, but I didn't do anything. I was just supposed to check up on some information for the editors. Well, try and cheer up, okay, Tito? Tito says, I will. Thank you, Miss Dorothy. Dorothy says, don't worry, I'm sure that Estelle and Joshua will crack this case and be able to help your grandpa. See you later. And she goes back inside the factory. Estelle says, Tita, please don't look so sad. I'm sure your grandpa is just fine. Joshua says, right, since he's one of the kingdom's foremost scientific minds, I can't imagine anyone wanting to hurt him. Tita says, You're right, he has to be okay. Agate just frowns. Estelle asks, what's with the look? Agate says, nothing. time's a wasting. Let's go to the guild. Right. Well. Killiker says you have impeccable timing. Estelle asks, oh? Joshua says, it's you. Professor Alba says, oh my, Estelle and Joshua. I haven't seen you two in some time. You're doing well, I hope. Estelle asks, Professor Alba, what are you doing in Zeiss? Tell me you've got an escort this time. Killiker says, never mind that. We've learned the whereabouts of the criminals. This gentleman is an eyewitness. Estelle asks, huh? Agate asks, what? Professor Alba says, I thought what I saw might be significant. Good then, I'm glad I came. Anyway, I'd been doing field research on the tower up until a short time ago. Estelle asks, you're talking about one of the tetracyclic towers, right? Agate says, it'd have to be the Carnelia Tower north of the Plains Road. Professor Alba says yes, and I saw several soldiers enter the structure. I initially thought them to be members of the Royal Army, but they seemed to be sticking to the shadows, and I heard them mention something about a kidnapping and an escape route. I was greatly unsettled by the whole matter, so I came directly here to tell what I saw. Joshua asks, those soldiers, what kind of uniforms were they wearing? Professor Alba says, let me think. It was a blue and white uniform, very sharp looking. Just as one would expect from Her Majesty's native land, even the military dresses stylishly. Agate says, that's got to be them. Come on, we have to hurry to the Carnelia Tower. Estelle nods. Right. Joshua says, acknowledged. Tita says, please, take me with you. Estelle says, Tita. Joshua says, well, could one of you just talk? Agate says, hey Runt. Tita says, huh? Agate says, there's no good reason for us to bring you along. Use that brain of yours for some common sense. Tita says, but Grandpa was kidnapped. I have to. Agate says, time is mirror, kid, so let me put it to you straight. You're just going to get in the way. You stay behind. Tita is lost for words. Estelle says, hey, hold on a second. Where do you get off talking to her like that? Agate says, oh, shut it. You know I'm right. We can't afford to pick up some amateur slack, much less a goddamn kid. Estelle says, Estelle says, Joshua, don't just stand there, say something. Please don't say something. Joshua says, I'm sorry, but I'm with him on this. There's not a chance in the world that those men aren't expecting us to be on their trail. As much as I'd like to have her with us, it's just too dangerous to bring her along. Tita says, Joshua. Estelle sighs. I'm sorry, Tita, I guess we can't take you. Tita says, Estelle, how can you be so mean? And she runs away crying. Estelle cries, Tita. Joshua says, wait, Estelle, leave her be for now. The best thing we can do for her is to save the professor. Estelle says, I know, but I just... Agate says, today, people... Killiker, you can contact the army, right? Killiker says, yes. May the fortunes of war smile upon you. Professor Alba says, it seems that something major is going on. Please, take care of yourselves. Right. Let us be on our way then. Chronocider has 1600 HP, is not weak to any element, can drop a curative horn. A monster that hunts on the plains has very robust attributes, no notable weak points. Right. So we're better off destroying the armed rabbits. Armored rabbits? And having you who doesn't know any arts. Yeah. Attack it. Ow. I think it was lucky that missed. Ow.
Care for a rematch?
We received 2 beast flesh and a curative horn. Lucky us. We've learned the recipe for seasonal tart. And the royal crepe. Lucky us. And the red tail soup.
Should have done that.
Nice. Two Mr. Praying Mantises. Praying Mantis, Praying Mantis Eye? This is... Anyway. Oh, that does hurt.
All right, we're good to go.
We got a prickly seed. Well, aren't you big and wavy? Yes, why not call for backup? Why not indeed? Oh, now we've got to use it. Okay. The Mercury Viper, 1766 HP. Slightly weak to fire and wind magic. Can drop a firefly fungus and a beast flesh. A monster inhabiting woodlands. It spits poison at its prey.
Let's do this!
Ow. Ow. We're going to Hellgate U4. I could only stun one of you. Plucky. Ow. What odds do you have? Nothing AoE. And let's see what Petrified Breath does to that Beam Cobra. Nothing. Ow. Not necessary. And yes, I should have cleansed her status affliction, but, you know. Alright. Cures freeze, cures sleep. We've learned wine steamed eggs recipe. Lucky us. Because why not, right? Let's call for more backup.
Should have done that.
Hey, that's a lot of fire. I'm not going to say no to it though. We've received 3 Firefly fungus. Firefly fungus. And 1 beast flesh. And we've exterminated a monster on its roadway. And that's that way to the Leiston Fortress, that way to the S-Time Gate. Guess we're going to the S-Time Gate. Yeah.
Let's do this!
Well, it could have stunned him. I would not have said no to it stunning him. Ow.
Should have done that.
No. Come on, Omni Slash. There you go. Yeah. Ow! That was not nice.
That's that then. Let's move out.
We received a prickly seed. They're everywhere. Ow! Absolute bugger.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, pick on the girl.
Not now.
We're good to go.
Do you mind?
I'm sorry.
Well, they're both dead. Just like that.
I'm sorry.
Not now.
Oh, come on! I got a beast flesh and a leathery tail. Yay! Oh, 3 of you? Alright then. Yeah, no, we're running. Recipe for holy popcorn. And beast steak. And coffee ice cream. Yay! So we arrive at Estime Gate. Private Hector says, "Hey, sorry. Because of that incident at the central factory, we're holding gate inspections." Good for you. Private Jules says, "I'm on guard duty. No fraternization. If you want to go sightseeing, you'd better do it now." Well, okay. In we go then. Private Wayne says we're supposed to be having a drill today. Since that terrorist attack though, we've been on an emergency alert. I'm sorry, but I can't just let you pass through. Warrant Officer Talbot says, "I'm very sorry, but all visitors are to be inspected. Anti-terrorist measures. I apologise again." Well, okay, as long as it's not a full cavity search. Armand says, "You've heard about Zeiss, right? Thanks to all the inspections, I couldn't get into the capital. Now, okay, gotta stay cool. I'll protect you, my love. Ellie says, another incident? Don't the people here have anything better to do? I sort of agree with you. Tammy says, wasn't what happened in Zeiss just terrifying? It was nice to know there were big strong men nearby, though. I bet it was. Oh, I just love soldiers. Oh. Norsh says, it's just awful. A terrorist attacked in Zeiss this time. We seem to be destined to suffer. Is it our lot in life? Marion says, one of the soldiers just explained the reason for all the inspections. The two of us are citizens of Gronsel, so we're fine, but they're holding everyone until they can confirm their identity and origin. This entire terrorist attack has been a terrible ordeal. Pot-o meat. Let's see what that is. 8 pot-o meat. Learn the pot-o meat recipe for us. Sanders says, this is turning into a grand old cluster, isn't it? About all I can do to help is feed the ones doing all the hard work. I won't get anything accomplished on an empty stomach, that's for sure. A full stomach keeps the mind on task, I like to say. Well, we know both of what you're flogging, so... move on. Talia says, this has turned into a fine old mess, hasn't it? I hope they catch those criminals so all of these inspections can stop. But in the meantime, I'd better get rooms ready for all the people being held up. Now it's 120 monies each rest. That's not good. Chief Warrant Officer Dale says, I'm afraid we have to hold all travellers pending proof of origin and destination. I shouldn't have to tell you why, not after Zeiss. The Royal Army is doing everything to prevent the perpetrator from leaving Zeiss. Okay. Good for you. Is this where I get full body plunged? No, apparently not. There's nothing on this part of the wall. This part of the wall. But further up we can go. Private Chesley says, I keep getting the feeling someone's going to jump out of the bushes at me. If the terrorists do get away, it's going to be embarrassing for all of us. Looks like we're going to be on alert for a while. I mean, sure. Joshua says the Gronsel region's just up that way. We won't be able to get in without a pass. And we've been told we're not getting past, so this is clearly not the way we should be going. We should have gone the other way. Oh well. At least we can go back to Zeiss and get some more revives. Oh, Estelle woke up. Yay. Why not? We got him! Yay!
That's that then. Let's move out.
Two curative horns, two. So,
All right, we're good to go.
Joshua reached level 22. And we've got a curative horn.
Take. Let's do this!
Here I come. We're good to go.
And Estella's now level 22. We got 2 beast flesh. You have reported the results for the Resolute Monster. We received 2,000 monies and 5 BP, and we are still Junior Racer 4 class. Killiker says, welcome back, it looks like you finished your job. If you clear any other contracts, make sure you come here and report it. Yes, ma'am. South is... Yes, south it is. And because there's nothing at Elmo by process of elimination, this way must be the way. Monster speed. Why not? Hopper Chief has 1,424 HP, no particular elemental weakness, can drop vintage wine. Leader of the pack, smart enough to use arts attacks and can call for backup. As opposed to the regular grasshopper, which has 878 HP, is slightly weak to fire and wind, can drop a dirty carrot or a crisp onion, a monster that swarms on the plains. Its attack has a weakening effect on its enemies. So, Ow! They're all playing dead. How luckier for us. You don't have to do that, you know. Alright, we're going to anticept the Hopper Chief, just in case he decides, oh, I need to cure myself. And it worked! Look at that, that's a surprise. Okay, so no backups coming from him. Come on. Why are we missing so much? Particularly if all they're going to do is run away.
Piece of cake.
We received a black bangle. I feel so empty inside. Deep. Right, what does a black bangle do? Okay, it's not one of them, it's not one of them. A black bangle prevents sleep. North Carnelia Tower, beware of monsters. Well, if beware of monsters is on the sign... Let's see what Wolf Fort holds for us. Down to Tirabarn. You have found the missing link. I highly doubt it, but I'll take your word for it regardless. Calvard border. There are chooks. I have terrible memories of chooks. Bruno says, I heard there was an incident in Zeiss and they're starting border inspections. Maybe I should wait a little and come through later. Read a book or something. Do you guys like to read? If you want, you can have this one. I'm done with it. We received Carnelia Chapter 7. This book is pretty good. If you say so, sir. Private Henning says, we're in the middle of an inspection just now. There was some big incident in Zeiss. Lately, we've been stepping up all of our border investigation procedures. Private Brahm is well and truly asleep. Can we sleep here, sir? Chief Warrant Officer Pace says, thanks to what happened in Zeiss, people without very good reasons will not be granted passes. I'd rethink things if you're planning on going to the Republic. That attack was a huge deal and it's slowing down customs. So, can we sleep here or not? I'd guess not, even though there are plenty of very warm beds right behind you. Rufus says, "You don't look like Rufus Shinra. He looked much more confident and competent." Rufus says, "I heard about what happened at Zeiss. How terrible for everyone living there. But still, you've got to be more than 60% brass to hit the central factory like that. Whoever they are, they can't just be some petty crooks." What have you got? And we don't boast of both of what you've got. Just here, it's still 120 monies. That's a lot of monies. Oh well. We do what we need to do. Monsters appeared. We just dealt with some of you. He's lying still on the ground, and you cannot hit him.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, we're pretty much in the don't bother. We received a sapphire talisman. The chest is, you guessed it, empty. Well, yes, we did guess it. You're brave. All one of you.
Care for a rematch?
Dirty carrot. To the toe, the toe, the little.
Damn it! Shouldn't have done that.
Yes, we're at the please move on phase of experience gain. To the tower! To the tower! Estelle says, so this is the Carnelia Tower. Are the kidnappers really holding the professor here? Akate says, yep, look at the big jumble of footprints. If you need a hiding place, this would probably be a very good place for it. Joshua says, look out! Oh look, those doggies again. Estelle shouts, monsters! As if that wasn't very obvious. Akate says, as I expected. Does Disney know you're applying the flying V formation? They may want to sue you for it. Just saying. Yeah, I want to Hellgate you. Ow. I also want to Hellgate you. Ow. One dead, one stunned. Could have done worse. Could have done a lot worse. You. Excellent. Then Tira or Joshua. And I'll get you. Ow. Okay. He's dead.
Good to go.
Yay! Ooh, yes, that's lovely. Estelle asks, what are monsters like that doing here? Oh, maybe they're tied somehow to the men in the black clothes. Akate says, got it in one. They've probably been trained for combat by our little friends in black. Estelle asks, trained? Akate says, ever since I started checking these guys out, I've gotten attacked by monsters constantly. Ain't no way that's a coincidence. Estelle says, I see. So that means that the checkpoint up in the mountain pass was attacked because you were there? Akate says, I guess. It was your old man who assigned me this gig in the first place. It ain't like it's been a night at the strip club for me either. Estelle frowns. Strip club, huh? How very you. Joshua says, anyway, this reminds me. Joel mentioned something about that, right? Can you share some details? Akate says, he showed up just before that whole Sky Pirate mess started and dumped it on me. Said something about some crap coming up that really couldn't wait. An easy job, he says. That old man always plays innocent. Estelle whispers, that is so very Dad. Akate says, and after that last couple of run-ins with them, there's no way I'm giving anyone else the satisfaction of catching them. I especially want to get that one little bastard. Joshua asks which would be whom. Agate says, never mind. Let's just arrest these guys and rescue the professor. Well, shall we go inside? Ooh. A duck-billed phoenix. Or a flame velga. It has 1040 HP, it is exceptionally weak to water, it can drop tender poultry and a red pepper, an avian monster living at high altitudes, incredibly powerful but weak against water. That should do. Ew. That wasn't very nice, you know.
Should have done that.
One red pepper. Hot O meat. Whoa! Restores 5000 HP. We need aged miso. This pot dish is a must-try for meat lovers. Long live bacon. Okay. Are we even likely to get 5000 HP? Unknown. Once. Oh, we found a black coat. And an EP charge. So what is a black coat? Oh. Raises defense by 80 and art defense by 8. A central factory product can repel edged weapons. It's not exactly a huge upgrade for Agate. Seal, earth, water, maybe. For 231 or 128 to 167. We'll give it to Joshua. Just because Estelle has her boots, which are made for walking. Oh, tentacles! Tentacles! Pumpkin Pom. 550 HP, it can drop milled flour. A dastardly yellow fluff, it can steal EP and use arts. I'll leave them to Estelle, I think. The spiked jellyfish, it has 950 HP, it's not weak to any particular element, it can drop olive oil and clear gelatine. A tentacled monster roams old ruins, petrifies prey, divides after being wounded. EP slurp. That doesn't look nice. Yeah, we're going to Hellgate, the two of you. And they died. Look at that. Right. So, in other words, don't let those bombs get anywhere near Estelle, or we're in deep trouble.
Should have done that.
We received some milled flour and some olive oil. Monster appeared. Oh, 3 monsters appeared. They are robber trappers. They have 1,140 HP. They're extremely weak to water and pretty weak to fire, wind. They can't drop anything. A monster lurking in treasure chests uses fire-based arts and explodes when defeated. As you do. Because why, oh why, would you want to not explode when you're defeated? Oh, that's both good and bad.
Let's do this! Care for a rematch?
We found Mind 3. I'm going to say materia. The chest is decidedly empty. The ornament for Estelle is Mind 3. HP can also recover while walking with the heal. Let's see, you have hit 2. I think we had hit 3 here somewhere. Yes, we did. Don't have anything that can't already be used. Yeah, I'm not going to give him the strike because I'm not sure if he's just going to up and go and leave us with it, or leave us without it. I mean. I'll swap attack 2 on Joshua for strike, however. Alright. Let us continue upon our way. Ahead on our way. And there's more of those poms over there. You, Mr. Big Birdie. Let's solo you. Send you to attack Flame Velga. As you should, just like that. One hit it. Okay. Solo you as well.
Care for a rematch?
Got some tender poultry. And a tear balm from that chest. It's empty. You have only yourself to blame. That was not nice.
Care for a rematch?
We've got a red pepper and a milled flour. And we've got an EP Charge X. No soup for you! Gee, there's a lot of bombs in this room. No! 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 Stop eating all of my EP! You nasty little buggers!
Should have done that.
3 milled flour. This is just to make sure we have no MP getting into a boss fight, isn't it? Well, that La Curia is going to be very helpful. That is a wide area of effect. Of course, he has no MP. He has no MP. Why can't he do any magic? Of course, he has no MP.
We're good to go.
We received 2 milled flour. And no, I still haven't looked into what kibbled salt is. See, I can remember that I haven't looked into it, but I can't remember to actually do it. Oh, this memory of mine.
That's that then. Let's move out.
And 3 milled flour. Truth, they're just gonna keep coming, apparently. No, stop drinking my MP. It's terribly rude of you. Especially as none of the things we can cook replenish our MP.
Care for a rematch?
1 milled flour. No! Can we learn Slurp EP? That would be exceptionally useful, you know. Oh. It's like quite the nasty fire attack. And why did I miss?
Should have done that.
2 milled flour. Right. Yes, we'll just unequip that. Let's have a little omelette. Really? Oh, well, that's my MP gone.
Let's do this!
Here I come.
Oh, not this time.
Let's move out.
Got 3 milled flour, look at that. Now. Your S-craft, you have another S-craft. How do we change which one you use? Maybe I'll set S-brake, that's how we set what to use. Explosion flay. No, I want you to have that. Because I want you good against a boss. Yeah, I'm going to move Estelle back. Send you forward, and we're going to do that to hopefully protect her a little bit more. Now, that's the way we came in. This is the way we go out. And there's only one of you.
Should have done that.
1 milled flour. That's the way up. There's only one of you here.
Care for a rematch?
Alright, this being the case, let's finish clearing here out. Just because we can. see what happens here. As you do. Yeah, I need to stop you from getting to Estelle.
That's that then. Let's move out.
Yay! Hopefully we have enough to unlock Joshua's last slot when next we find an Orbment Factory.
Piece of cake.
It's a milled flour. Yeah. Oh, we already knew Carmine Eye. Fine. We're going to use some tear balms on Joshua. And I'm not going to use our EP charges on Estelle until after we've wiped out you. Just because I don't want all her MP gone. Well, it will be all gone, but just so they don't slurp it all up during this battle. The new stuff, not the 17 I have left. And they're going to decide not to do it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It is.
Care for a rematch?
Okay, all the bombs are gone. Why? Come on! It's right there! Okay. See, that was all you had to do the first time. Do you mind?
Sorry.
Not now. You'll pay for this.
Ow. Yes, we're retrying that battle, thank you. And kindly don't miss. It's very rude when you miss. uh,
Should have done that. Let's do this!
kindly don't miss. to clear gelatine. Okay. Thing that way. Nothing that way.
Here I come.
Not sure it needed its EP healed, but anyway. Should have hit the other one. Did not look at the attack bonus that nearly finished it off. So there would have been teeny tiny divides. Well, there's still teeny tiny divides, but there would have been teeny-er.
Alright, we're good to go.
Got some more clear gelatine. Get rid of this thing. Okay, so that one won't divide. Go us. This one will, however.
Should have done that.
No divides out of you, which is good news for us. Oh, feather shower, right. Yeah.
That's that then. Let's move out.
And Estelle and Joshua both leveled up to level 23. Joshua has learned Black Fang. Don't know what it is just yet. We received a milled flower. So let's take a look at our techniques. Status break, sever. Black Fang is miscraft all attack. Cuts down enemies with an instantaneous attack. So it's on Tetsuken. May as well try it and see. You found Hellfire Eggs. You will not find a finer empty chest. And a Tira Bomb. It wouldn't be empty if you hadn't already looted it, now would it? Well, I suppose not, but, you know. Hellfire Eggs. Heals 500 HP, cures confused, sleep, faint. A picante egg dish with a restorative effect. Right. We got our MP back for Estelle and Joshua. Ow! Low impact on you, I think. Oh, got him, yes. Nice.
All right, we rule.
We received a milled flour, a tinned poultry, and 2 red peppers. Monsters appeared. Oh no! Monsters! Whatever shall we do? Actually, I'll see what Joshua's thing does. Black Fang. It is Santetsuken. Oh, that's quite powerful.
That's that then. Let's move out.
We found demi-handers. Say, haven't we met before? Demi-handers. Strength plus 80. Dirks used for covert ops, subtle with a matte surface. I'm going to see what's on the other side first before you lot explode. Why would you want to do that? So there are two options. And you're just going to use Feather Shower, so I'll need to heal Estelle. Rather than take out most of one of you. Why does it have such a wide AoE effect? Nothing I have does that.
Care for a rematch?
Receive 2 red peppers. So it is the same place, it's just where we entered.
Should have done that.
A milled flower for us. We received a celestial bar. And monsters.
Finished. That's that then. Let's move out.
Nice. And we received an attack 3. Which I would presume is... What if I rip the green out of there because it really does nothing? Tack 3 in there instead. Oh, that's right. I was also going to put Agate with the Sapphire Talisman again, so we can one-shot some of these.
That's that then. Let's move out.
We got a red pepper. Woo! Oh, come on, it's 2 off. It's 10 off. Tender poultry and a red pepper.
All right, we're good to go.
Some milled flour. Monsters! Yay! Here, Agate.
All right, we're good to go.
We received an Octavian stave. Empty. This is not entirely unexpected, right? Now, Octavian stave would be for Estelle. An Eastern style staff coated with a hardened resin. A tear all balm. Impact for you.
All right, we're good to go.
Two tender poultry.
Here for a rematch.
We got a red pepper. And some monsters appeared. Yeah. No, I want to attack first.
We're finished.
I'm gonna do that first. Keep him away. Leading feather shower.
Here for a rematch.
We received a Cavalier Killer. Way to be thorough, hero. So, is that a weapon for Agate? It is. An eastern sword, the height of a man. Used against horses. Strength plus 80. Alright, now I'm going to unequip the Sapphire Talisman again. We're going to eat this salubrious oatmeal. Going to save. Here's an EV charge for Estelle because she needs some more MP. We're on the Carnelian Tower roof. Estelle shouts, "Here they are!" Agate says, "Finally got you cornered." Black-clad man 1 says, "What? Braces?" Black-clad man 2 says, "Damn guild dogs, you just won't let it go, will you?" Estelle says, "Getting out of town using those disguises was pretty impressive, I'll admit, but your endgame was pretty weak." Joshua says, "You may not have thought anyone would actually come here, but no such luck. Now, how about you play nice and just let Professor Russell go free?" Black-clad man 1 says nothing. Agate says, "In accordance with the laws of the Bracers Guild, you're hereby placed under arrest. It's too bad we couldn't find the guy in that stupid mask, but I think you'll tide me over." Black-clad man 1 says, "Don't mock us." Black-clad man 2 says, "We'll cut down anyone who gets in our way." And in they go. Ow! You nasty man! Alright. Black-clad soldier 1 has 1950 HP. He's not weak against any particular element. He doesn't drop anything. A combatant clad all in black, highly trained and well versed in a variety of skills. Black-clad soldier 2 is exactly the same. Black-clad soldier 3, however, has 1820 HP. No particular elemental weakness. Doesn't drop anything. A combatant equipped with normal gun, highly trained, uses marksman crafts.
Here I come!
Oh, that's not nice. Ow! Really?
I'm sorry.
What the actual... Yeah, we're retrying that.
Now.
I'm sorry.
Why are these people so hard?
Damn it. Damn it.
Right.
You'll pay for this.
Okay, Latira. All of us. Or at least for those two.
We're finished.
Okay, we have one down.
Here I come.
So it wasn't completely that they're too strong, it's more the attack delay that had it in for us,
That's that then.
for
Let's
reasons.
move out.
Black-clad man 1 says, "Gah, damn braces." Black-clad man 3 says, "But have you forgotten about our prisoner?" Estelle shouts, "You guys are unbelievable. Don't you ever know when to give up?" Joshua asks, "You wanted to use Professor Russell's intellect, right? Are you really willing to harm him?" Black-clad man 2 says, "Shut up." Black-clad man 3 says, "Is that really a chance you can take?" Agate says, "What a bunch of whiners. Just admit you've lost already. The Royal Armed Forces have mobilized. There's nowhere left for you to hide." Black-clad man 1 laughs. Black-clad man 3 laughs. Agate asks, "What's so damn funny?" Black-clad man 1 says, "Oh, nothing. It's just that we had thought you competent for a second there. And so, it's almost time." Agate says, "What? Huh?" Joshua shouts, "Estelle, look out." Estelle says, "I hear it," and there's an airship, of course. Estelle shouts, "Of course it's an airship. Cheaters." Agate says, "Shit, so this was their trump card." Black-clad man 1 laughs. "Now the shoe's on the other foot." Black-clad man 3 says, "Though we'll gladly have killed you all here, we never intended for you braces to get involved." If you just hold your tongues and observe, you may escape with your lives. Estelle scowls. What? Now listen, you jerk. Joshua whispers, Estelle, I think we should do what they say. Estelle whispers back, what are you saying? Agates whispers, playing things by the book here is just going to leave us open. The second they make a move with the professor, we rush them. Estelle whispers back, okay. Black-clad man 1 says, looks like you've given up. Black-clad man 3 laughs, a wise decision on your part. Black-clad man 1 says, now, if you'll excuse us. Agate whispers, now. A girl's voice shouts, no. Agate says, what? Black-clad man 2 says, who's the kid? Estelle says, Tita. Joshua says, damn it, she followed us? Tita shouts, let my grandpa go, or else you're gonna be in big trouble. Black-clad man 3 says, whoa. Black-clad man 2 says, don't get cocky, you little brat. Tita says, ah. Joshua says, oh no. Estelle shouts, Tita. Agate screams and takes a bullet. What? Estelle cries, Agate. Joshua cries, Agate. Black-clad man 1 says, hey, what the heck are you doing shooting at a little kid? Especially with that test model. Black-clad man 3 says, oh, sorry, I thought she was going to take out the airship. Black-clad man 1 says, forget about it, now pull back, we're getting out of here. And they all jump on the airship and take the old man with them. Estelle shouts, hey, wait a second. Tita yells, Grandpa! And they fly away into the sunset on the airship. Tita cries. Estelle says, Tita. Joshua says, all right, for now we should return to Zeiss and regroup. We need to report into the guild about that airship. Estelle nods. Right. Tita, I know you're hurting. Tita continues crying. Why? Why did they have to take him? It's so mean. Why? Agate says, hey, runt. And he slaps Tita. Tita says, oh. Estelle says, wait a second. Agate says, I told you before, you'd just get in the way if you followed us. You being here is what screwed up our shot at rescuing the old man. Are you planning to accept responsibility for that? Tita is still on the verge of tears. I never meant... Agate says, plus your little stunt with that pea shooter wound up putting your own life at risk. Nothing gets on my nerves more than kids like you who can't resist poking around where they have no business. Tita mumbles, I'm sorry. So sorry. And starts crying. Estelle shouts, hey, you don't have to be so mean. Hell, her grandpa was just kidnapped. Agate asks, why do you think I said all that? Hey, kid, while you're still wailing away, have a listen. Tita continues crying. Agate asks, are you okay with things as they are? Are you going to accept that you can't help your granddad and just give up? Tita continues crying and shakes her head vehemently. Agate says, okay, then shape up and get some courage. You can cry and scream if you want, but first you've got to learn to stand on your own. Learn to take care of yourself before you run off trying to rescue others. Tita says, Agate says, if you can't do that, then don't you ever get in our way again. You can just crawl into bed, pull the covers over you, and cry like a baby. Hell, that'd probably be the best thing for all of us. Estelle says, Tita. Tita says, I'm okay, Estelle. I can stand up for myself. And so she stands up. Agate says, deeds, not words. Tita says, I'm really sorry. It's my fault that those men got away. Estelle says, goofball, you don't have to apologize. Joshua says, right, we're just glad you're all right. Tita says, thank you both. Mr. Agate? Agate asks, what? Before you start your griping, just remember I'm not a complaint department. Tita says, thank you for saving me before. And for cheering me up. Agate blusters, I wasn't trying to cheer you up. That's called discipline for a whiny brat. Tita laughs. Okay. Agate says, you're just crying, so why are you grinning at me now? Damn crazy kid. Estelle sighs, you really ought to learn to accept someone's gratitude when it's offered. I think you just like being difficult. Joshua says, no, I think it's more a matter of him being shy. Estelle says, oh, that makes sense. Well, that's actually kind of cute. Agate huffs, oh, shut up. Whatever, we should head back to the guild. It seems to me that those guys have some kind of boss who's calling the shots. I don't like it, but I think we're going to need the military's help. Estelle says, yeah, you're probably right. Joshua says, best if we hurry then. And we can hurry back next time because I am very, very hot, covered in sweat, and my voice is about to give out. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next episode.